Hello everyone, Reynor here. Today I wanted to make a quick video on Serral, explain a few things he does and why he's the best Zerg out there in my opinion. Let's begin. Today we have, I selected Serral vs Hero because I remember this game very well and I think it shows what he does just in general, like the macro, the scouting, all of that. I think he did very well this game. This is from IM Katowice group stages. Obviously early game, not much to say. So Hero obviously considered the best CVP player, PvZ player in the world. Cannot disagree with that. I think Hero is very good, especially in the early game. His follow-ups are a bit... His follow-ups could be worked on a little bit, but I think his early game and his unit control makes him very scary to face. His Oracle control is by far the best. He knows when he can find damage. He's very confident in his micro mostly. But Serral obviously the most solid player out there. I don't think anyone can disagree with that. Just overall he knows what he's doing. He's pretty standard, but he's damn good at being standard. Not much to say about in the early game. Just Hero going for the hatch block. Very standard. Hatch block means that the drones will get there later. Just in general, it's nice when Protoss players go for a hatch block because I think it's just an advantage from the early game. Also, let's talk about the map a little bit. Gresvan, very standard map. I think it's kind of 50-50. It's very open, which is good for Zerg, but it also depends a lot on how they expand. If they take the triangle third base and then they expand to the bottom, it's actually not bad for TOS in my opinion. Just in general, whenever TOS wants to attack, it's a little bit hard because it's very open, as I said. Other than that, pretty standard map. Good dead space between the bases, quite easy to harass into. Hero walks in the first adept, casually gets a link kill, which is already a good start. Serral should already know it's Stargate, so he's preparing with his queens. You can see that he has 2 queens at the third base already, and the second queen will be perfectly in time for the second oracle, for the first oracle. So just in general, guys, whenever you go up against Stargate, you either want to have 1 queen and a spore or double queen for the first oracle. And then if it's 2 oracles, you either want to have still 1 queen and a spore is fine, but you need to micro a little bit, or 3 queens. Hero walks in, grabs a couple of drone kills. Solid start so far. Serral just spreading his creep, gathering information. I think what Serral does very well is just his scouting in general. I think he's definitely the best out there at scouting. Like, nothing surprises him anymore, and that's why you don't see a lot of players cheesing Serral, because he knows exactly what's going on in each game without actually seeing it. So like, he's very good at telling stuff when he cannot see it. He's very good at gathering information from tiny things that the opponents do and stuff. So that's the reason you don't see a lot of players cheesing Serral in general. And that's why I don't really do it as much. Sometimes I'll do it just when I feel like it's the right moment to do it, but just in general, he's just too good at telling what's going on in the game. Keeps scouting. He sees Hero stopped at 3 oracles, which is very standard. He's gonna attack with 2, keep 1 at home, just for defending. Serral, as I said, 3 queens in position for the 2 oracles. Hero grabs 1, pisses off. Not much else to say. Serral went for I think 6 or 7 queens, 2 here, 3 there, 4, yeah, I think 7 queens, which is pretty standard against triple oracle. I like the number a lot. You can see that his spread of the queens is almost perfect. He knows he doesn't need a spore in the third base because he's gonna keep those 3 queens there. Now he has 4 as well, so he's more than safe against the oracles. He keeps scouting. He can see that the follow-up of Hero is gonna be a Twilight and Forge. Nothing too crazy, just in general whenever you go up against triple oracle. Oh, here he grabs the Stalker. Very good. Sees 6 gases. Now he knows he can drone up, so he's probably gonna fire +1 range and then keep droning. Yeah. Usually against 6 gases you couldn't go up to 80 drones. No, Yona knows that. He makes 4 roaches just because he likes being very solid in general. Wide range over melee, it's just playstyle thing. I don't mind it versus 6 gases. Usually when I go up against 6 gases I also prefer to go for range. But yeah, here we can see Serral still gathering all the information he can, spreads his links. You can see he has a link at each fourth. He has it at each fourth possible that Hero can take. He's also sending in an overseer. He's just scouting really well. He's being solid. He stopped at 66 drones. He's just making units because he's a little bit scared that Hero is gonna come up with something. He's going for a fast infestation pit, most likely for Hive. We know Serral is god tier in the late game. He's the best out there, so he's not scared to go there. He sees now double robo, as you can see, perfect scouting. He knows that Hero is going for a timing because he has links in each fourth. Hero is not trying to take his fourth, so he just has the perfect information on everything. Queen's always in the right spots. He goes for a second Evo chamber. He goes for the Hive. Why does he go for a Hive? Well, it's very simple. He saw double robo, so he wants to try and make Vipers for the Colossus, because Vipers are very good against timings. So most likely if the Protoss player goes for a timing, they will not have Templar Archives. So here, just in general, what did Serral do that makes him very good? Well, he didn't take any damage at all. He lost like 3 drones. Yeah, as you can see here, he lost 3 drones against Triple Oracle, which is pretty much a perfect start. He saw everything. He reacted perfectly to everything. He's in no danger of dying so far. So just, yeah, pretty much he does the basic stuff really, really well. He knows perfectly what he's doing. He goes for a +1 melee, +1 range here. You can see that Hero is trying to deny the creep heavily at the front, so he's definitely going for an attack, but Serral knows it. He stopped making drones, he stopped trying to take base, and now he's just pressing the unit button. He's either going for a Link Bane Ravagers or more Roaches. Personally, I like those Banes, so yeah, that's what he's going for. You can see he's going for +1 melee, goes back in with the Scout, because why not, even though he knows perfectly what's going on. Serral always likes to be safe. Just making sure that there's no Templar Archives or anything. So yeah, he knows that Hero is super all-in with this, and the only goal he has now is not dying. He's probably gonna pull all the Queens at the front as well. He's just trying to get a little bit, he's trying to gain a bit of time before the Vipers come out. Okay, he's going for it. Never mind, he pulls back. You can see, guys, how he's playing. He's engaging and backing off a lot because he's waiting for the Viper energy. You can see that he's not going to pull the trigger until the Viper energy is there, so he can abduct. As soon as he has it, boom, he goes in. Perfect engage. Grabs a Viper, goes back instantly to get energy. Chases a little bit, he knows he can chase this. Stays sword, doesn't really work out. Just keeps going, keeps going. Grabs another Colossus, and here the game is pretty much over. Just plain and simple, guys. React, scout. But yeah, this game pretty much over. He's just staying in the game, checking again what's going on, scouting. He knows Hero is not trying to take a 4th base, so he's not adding any more drones to this. He knows he's perfectly fine in this situation. Okay, queues a few drones, because he knows he can't die anymore. Hero is now trying to take a 4th base. Yeah, just play perfectly. What does it take? Yeah, very well executed game by Serral. I really like this one. When I watched it, I was like, if I ever have a YouTube channel, I want to make a video on this. He's trying to abduct, but the Viper is over the Nexus, so it doesn't let him abduct. So yeah, here is coping a little bit. He thinks he can cook up something, but he doesn't have a spoon and a fork. Yeah, the game is over here. Let's go. Very nice executed by Serral. Okay, guys, here we have Serral against Bjorn. Just wanted to focus a little bit more on what he does very well, but I think you guys got the point pretty much. Just plain and simple, perfect execution almost every game. Scouts everything, reacts to everything. Just nothing special, just the basics, he does them very well. Okay, guys, Serral going for the pull first. Once again, he knows that if he gets to the later parts of the game, he's gonna be fine, so he's just being careful here against Bjorn. Just playing it safe against proxies and stuff. Pull first with 2 links, just pretty standard, honestly. He's probably gonna send the 2 links across the map, sees what's going on. Never mind, he stays on with the 2 links. Okay, here now he knows it's CC first, just by the timing of the CC, so he knows it's CC first. Personally, I don't know how I would react to this. Honestly, when you go for 16 pull and it's CC first, and you have no Roach Warren backup, it's not the best. It's kind of good for the Terran because they're in no real danger of dying, and you just delayed your eco to be safe, and they're playing greedy. So it's just a clash of styles that favors the Terran quite a bit. So here Serral, he knows he's a little bit behind, but most likely he doesn't care. Once again, he's a very safe player, so he just wants to play safe. He knows the the risks of playing safe, because there's risks whenever you play safe as well. If the opponent goes very greedy and you're playing safe, then you're just behind automatically. Okay, it sends one link, makes sure nothing crazy is going on. Creep 2 more, very standard. Delays his link speed because he knows it's CC first, so therefore the tech will be delayed as well from the Terran. Goes for the Roach Warren. This timing of the Roach Warren is not really meant to kill, but it's also a little bit faster than what you would usually make if you just want to be safe. So it's a bit of a weird timing. I guess he's just making it at this timing because if it's not benchy or anything like that, then he can probably find damage. So he's just looking for damage, but then if he doesn't get anything done, he's fine with it anyways. Make sure once again with the Overlord, very clean position there. The Terran can't really clean it going in. Well, now we know it's not Steam, but in his mind that's a Steam. Now he doesn't know what's coming out of the starport. It could either be a Medivac, a Viking, or a Liberator. Most cases when we see a starport like that at that timing, it's either going to be a Lib or a Viking. We don't really expect the Medivac too much. Now he knows it's a Viking. Viking is actually good for him, because you never want to see the benches whenever you go for roaches, because then you can't get any damage done. Since he sees Viking, he knows that he can move across the map. He can try to find damage. Now here he pulls the queen to the left because he knows that if Byan goes for a run by, then he has to be ready for it because he has nothing left at home, so he has to rely on the queens. So pretty good movement right there for Serral. Pulls the Overlords back. Just wants to make sure he doesn't lose anything to the Vikings. Now here it is a little tricky. I would be a little bit upset at this because I don't think this would be the best. But here, so basically what's going on in this game is that Byan wanted to go for a Hellbat Marauder timing and Serral went for Roaches. So Byan most likely cancelled his armory, just made the Marauders and kept the Hellions at home to defend the push. Which is not even too bad for Serral because he knows that Byan delayed his third CC to do this because he was planning to be aggressive. So most likely it's not even that bad of a position for him. Just has to be careful that he doesn't die to this, but I find this very unlikely that he's gonna die to this. Whenever you have roaches, you're kind of safe. You're pretty much safe against everything pre-Steam. So like before they have Steam and tanks, you're pretty much safe against everything. You should never die with roaches. And he's chasing a little bit off creep. He's even making more units because he just wants to be safe. Adding queens, adding gases, goes for a fourth base. Very nice lair. Soon we're probably gonna see a double Evo go down for the double upgrades. I think it's at this point you're kind of committed to the roaches, and I know Serral, and he really likes to go for lurker timings with this kind of opening. He doesn't really like to go into the Link Bane Roach style, which is something I would do, but he likes to go more lurker heavy. So here he's just splitting his units, making sure he's safe against everything. Still has the Overlords close to his bases because he doesn't want to lose them to the Viking. It's a little bit annoying because Byan has concussive shells already. Sees the Lib, pulls out the drones. Very good. Okay, here we see 1-1 range and carapace. That's a big tell that most likely it's gonna be the lurkers, as I said. Because otherwise, in this case, I think you would go link speed, bailing nest, and +1 melee, and stop making roaches. But since we know he's making more roaches, and he's going for the +1 carapace and +1 range, and this fast of an infestation pit, we can already say for almost certain that it's gonna be those lurkers. The link speed that he just started doesn't really mean much. The only tell that he's gonna go for that style that I was mentioning before would be a bailing nest. But I find it odd that he didn't have a bailing nest yet. Just once again, perfect scouting, goes in with the changeling. Wants to kind of know what's going on. It's quite hard to tell against the Terran player what's going on just by scouting their army and gases. Because sometimes they can go for a 5 racks into 4th bases, steal on 4 gases. It's quite common. Or they could go for an 8 racks. Whenever you want to see what the Terran is up to, you kind of want to scout the racks count rather than the gas count and unit count. It's very important, the racks count. Pretty much tells you everything you need. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of infestors now. Byan going in for a drop, a little bit of a misclick there for Serral, but he already has his queens on position, he shouldn't really lose much. Byan has to be careful that he doesn't lose his medivacs. So yeah, just slightly out of position, but Serral knew that Bian wanted to go for a drop most likely. So he still had his queens in the main base, which is very good. Because otherwise Bian could have sniped that hatch, could have maybe sniped the pool or something. You can see here that Serral stopped at a very low drone count. He was like on 76 workers, now he's adding a few. But he just wants to make sure he doesn't die to anything. Once he gets to those lurkers, he knows that most likely he will be fine. Tries to catch a couple of units here. Soon we will see Vipers. I think Vipers are already on the way. Whenever you play this kind of style, you always want to rush Hive. Make sure you get those Vipers out, because it's very important to not die to siege, to tank pushes. If something like this happened, and you wouldn't have Vipers coming out, then if the Terran maxes out or it gets 2-2, then it gets really scary. So just make sure you have those fast Vipers. Ideally you want to aim for a 7-730 infestation, 7-730 Hive whenever you go for this style. Just making sure you're safe. Very good queen positioning here out of Serral. Just denying the drops in the main base completely. He has the Vipers. He knows he's safe here. Has the lurkers already as well. Just playing simple, guys. Nothing too crazy. Just doing everything correctly. Moves forward. He's trying to get a couple of attacks on the tanks. Now he knows that Bian went for a drop. He loaded up his medivacs. So the options are two here. He either collapses on this army or he splits his army as well. Looks like he's just trying to find some counter damage with these roaches. These roaches are something you wanna kill or trade as soon as possible. Because once you get those lurkers out, you wanna have more lurkers than roaches. Obviously, these roaches, once the 2-2 is done from the Terran, are not really useful. Drop in the main from Bian. Don't think he's gonna achieve too much. Kill the pool, which is nice. Repositions is just lurkers, just making sure he doesn't lose his fourth base or anything. Here I think he can defend. He has to be a little bit careful though. Yeah, very good trade here for Serral. He still has these roaches, being very annoying. He's just so solid everywhere. You can see that while he was dealing with the stuff in the main base, he repositioned his lurkers in a way that Bian could not find any damage on his fourth base. Here a little bit of a mistake. Did not cancel his fourth base, but doesn't really matter at this stage of the game. He's probably gonna go for a timing now. Whenever the Terran loses this match and they're trying to trade their units to make Ghost, you always want to try and go. Because this is kind of their weak spot. Whenever they have a few Ghosts out, but not many. Ideally you want to eat before they have like 7-8 Ghosts. So if there's like 4 Ghosts out, then hitting a timing with lurkers is very strong. Splits his unit, defends his 5th base, has to cancel it. Goes in now. Abducts the tank, very good. Keeps going, very well executed. Positions the lurkers. Bian he knows that there's no tanks out. Bian even has a orbital here, so he knows he can press the issue completely. He forgot to remake the pool. He's just gonna make 2 just in case. Once again, very safe player. Abduct, bam. He's gonna keep pressing the issue. Knows there's no ghost out for now. There he is. Few ghosts out, but those are not many. As I said, guys, whenever you go for a lurker timing, you always want to try to hit before they have 7 or 8. And then Bian only has 3 so far, and Yona has a lot of lurkers. Siege is up once again. He just keeps going because he knows he's allowed to push here. There's no more tanks. Even though his Vipers are recharging, he knows there's no more tanks. And if he sees a couple of tanks, he can always back out. So you can see here how Serral hit the perfect timing, because when he hit, Bian actually had all of his ghosts in production. You can see now that Bian has 8 ghosts, and if he had 8 ghosts 30 seconds faster before Serral attacked, then this game would look completely different. But just by the fact that he pushed at the time he did, just before the ghost, makes this a very successful push. Keeps on going, even sends his defensive army at the front. Makes a bailing nest, because why not? A little bit of flexing here. Kills the space. Recharge the Vipers. Good, they go back in. Oh. Abduct a couple of ghosts. Very nice. He knows the Vipers are dead, so he's trying to get the best value out of them. Yeah, here I want to say I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps pushing. What Bian is doing is kind of smart, but he's pretty much dead. There's not much you can do in this case. You can see that Serral was ready to be defensive as well. He already had a few lurkers in his base. He was just thinking about everything, and he was just being solid. Even while he was attacking, he made sure that he would not die to a counter attack like this. So he had a separate control group just for his army at the front and 1 army at the back. So yeah, just a quick recap. Very good scouting. Just the mechanics overall super solid. Not many mistakes. Just very minor mistakes that don't really impact the game. You will not see Serral most of the time when he's on point. You will not see Serral take a fight that he's gonna lose. He's very good at eyeballing fights. He knows when he's gonna win a fight or not, and when he knows he's not gonna win a fight, he's never gonna try and take it. But yeah, overall super solid, very good mechanics, very good scouting. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it.